All right, we both in it? That's good. Here we go. All right, so Jake, I just wanted to sit down with you for a little while and have just on record some documentation of what went down with the SBU Secret Admirers page. And this is just going to be for my own records. I don't want to show anybody else this. We're going to keep this anonymous.
Okay, good. Well, I mean, if you do show it to anyone, you can at least, blur my face, change my voice.
Yeah, I don't think you have anything to worry about. I know this is all sensitive and fresh, and it's kind of too soon to really put this kind of information
well, I'm glad it's just between me and you then.
Yeah. So I really was just wondering some information on what led to you creating the SBU Secret Admirers page.
I just kind of thought it might be something fun, kind of for the campus to have. SBU doesn't really have it, or didn't really have anything like that as far as the internet is concerned.
And were you kind of
network or anything?
Hoping that people would, start being offensive and sexual, and maybe push the boundaries a little bit?
I was hoping they would be as sexual as possible. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I really didn't have many. I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot of preconceived thought that went into it. It's kind of just like, hey, this would be cool. Make it happen real quick, and then it just kind of exploded, and there was no real time to catch up or even analyze what was happening.
It did explode. And what were your thoughts as you were watching the number of followers? Like, what was the exponential growth rate you saw? Were you paying attention to that?
I mean, I know it in just the one night. It was up to about 400 or 500 likes or so, and in that time period, from when it started to when I went to bed that night, I got anywhere between 3,000 and 4,000 Facebook notifications. I'm just like, I have to estimate, but it's somewhere in there. People not only commenting on there, but tagging their friends on the page, sending me messages and everything. And so, yeah, I mean, the growth was crazy, which, I mean, I kind of foresaw that. I mean, that's why I wanted to do something like that, because I thought it would be popular and I thought people would get into it. But, yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Now, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering how exactly it worked, because, and some people didn't even know. They put their posts right there on the page and looked like idiots.
Yeah.
But how exactly did it work?
So basically, I made a Facebook page. That part was pretty simple. Just like a band or an artist, anything else, you have a page that people can like. And it's public, so I made one called the SBU Secret Admirers. And then on a separate note, then I went into, it's a form of like Google Docs, and it's called Google Forms, I believe. And then pretty much it's a resource to do stuff like that. It's like for anonymous surveys and polls and stuff like that. So I created this survey, essentially, that was anonymous. And then when you submitted the answer into the question, which was, what's your SBU Secret Admiration or whatever, then that would go into a spreadsheet. And then, so I had access to the spreadsheet of everyone's answers, and then I would just take that and put it onto the Facebook page.
All right, and finally, I would like to ask, explain the aftermath. How did that go down? The next day you woke up, or if you slept at all?
Yeah, I went to, I mean, it was still getting quite a bit of hits into like 4 or 5 in the morning or so, and so I stayed up with it. I just thought this was like, kind of a fun thing, might as well. And I didn't want people to like be disappointed that like their posts weren't going through or whatever. So I stayed up fairly late, and then the next morning I had plenty to catch up with because, like I said, I was like manually taking it from the spreadsheet to Facebook, and so caught up with that. And around that time, even the night before, I started to get some negative feedback on the page, just like alumni who would like write on there that they were ashamed to be from SBU because of this Facebook page, and that they've never been more embarrassed in their school because of this Facebook page. So that was kind of when I started to, start thinking like, okay, maybe this isn't like, I don't know. If people are genuinely upset, then, this isn't really
worth it.
Yeah, isn't really worth it. I mean, because not only were people like genuinely upset with me that I would do something like this, but it was also just consuming a lot of my time. So it wasn't like I was like, oh, my big project, isn't taking off. It was kind of just like, by the next day, I was already kind of ready to like, okay, this has caused, we had our fun, like people enjoyed it, I think, but there's too many people like just up in a fit about this, and I was like, so it's not a big deal. I went in and I actually had something separate to talk to Nate Pillen about, but I ended up bringing up the Facebook page just to talk to him about.
Carry on.
And so then we just kind of discussed it, and then ended up having to talk with Rob Harris, and he had just kind of voiced his concern, and like alumni and teachers and faculty who had called him because they were upset about this page. And I was just like, look, I'll just take it down. Nobody hurt, so hopefully everyone's still cool with it, because, yeah.
I believe the smoke is settled, and we can all learn a valuable lesson from this. And I think I'll definitely have to go back and look at this video a few years down the road, just for my own personal recap. I like to do this with special moments with people, so just thanks.
Did you burn incense at one point?
No, I was burning. That was an exhausting performance.
I noticed the
I
smell.
don't know, at one point I lit something on fire.